Hello and welcome back to Brig Army. My name's Steve and today we have a ship that needs no real introduction. The Bismark by Forange, which is a new company to me. Normally we do the build, I show you a 60-second speed build, but as this is 2,000 pieces and as this is also the Bismark, I'm going to do a little bit longer. Chuck in a little bit more historical information and then we'll catch up on the other side for the review. So without further ado, let's crack on and build. Right, here we go. So the review for the Forange Bismark. Instructions. It's a pretty thick book, I've got to say, 330 odd pages in there. Instructions pretty good overall. They did suffer with the same isometric viewpoint as most other instructions, which is fine until you get to lots and lots of very flat pieces on top of each other. Had the same problem with the MiG29, where it wasn't necessarily clear sometimes exactly which node you were supposed to attach to, and it wasn't until sort of 4, 5, 6 segments phases later in the build that you then realised you had one node out, so you had to take bits off and go back. Until manufacturers start changing the perspective on occasions on the instructions, that's always going to be a bit of an issue. The bricks, no problems at all, everything fits nicely together, no warpage, nothing missing, 20 odd small bits extra. The only issues really, there's two minor issues that I had while building. The barrel and the stern, the way they come together, was a little bit strangely designed, but it does work once you can get your head around it. Again, on the instructions, it's not terribly clear sometimes, and I kept looking at thinking I'd missed something and going back and forth over the instructions, but I hadn't. It does work, but it was just a strange design. The other thing that they do, which is slightly weird, was, so you do let's take the superstructure for example. You do the sort of conning tower bit here, and then you would do this bit here, and then you would fit in the funnel arrangement, and that was repeated throughout the build really that you did, rather than doing this bit, and then this bit. You did this bit, and then slotted that bit in, which can make some of these slightly awkward to get into. everything fits, but it's a tight fit. There's you have to make sure every brick is squared up, but that's not really a complaint as such, because once it's in, it's there. The level of detail on this is just fantastic. I absolutely love this. And nice thing, decals rather than transfers, and they really add to the overall thing, where you've got, I just picked it up, you can see onto the deck itself, there's staircases on there, for instance. It does actually add to it, which is really nice. Obviously will be comparing this to a certain degree to the Fletcher here. The Fletcher was the first warship that I did, and I love the Fletcher. It was a great build, fantastic. But compared with this is another whole step up again, not just in complexity, but in level of detail. And it really does bring it to life. I've got no complaints really about this at all. It's a fantastic piece. Although Bismarck, and this is the decal for the stand. Bismarck. Really? And the stand itself is pretty much a joke. It's worry too much about it. Underneath, you probably might have seen, or may not have done, you've got some wheels there. As it goes backwards and forwards, the propellers do move. There's a little gearbox in there, which is a nice little touch. It's not too bad as far as fragility is concerned. One of the things that does annoy me somewhat is that when you if you start getting really fussy with the level of detail, it becomes very fragile, as a general rule. Now yes, you expect the masts, the flag poles, to be fairly fragile. That's absolutely fine. It's expected. The same with when you have a plane and you have missiles or bombs hanging off of them. You expect that. So because it's expected, I'm not worried about it. The guns turn very nicely. They elevate very well, and as you can see, I can do that and it doesn't pop off, which is very nice. Like that a lot. The secondary guns here, really well done. They don't elevate, they will just rotate around. As I say, this is about 2,000 pieces. Now, I paid £30 for this, and to be honest with you, even if you have no interest in the Bismarck whatsoever, because I don't think there are any unique pieces to this, not in the same way that, for instance, you've got the canopies and that type of thing. It's worth it just for the bricks alone. And the fact that you can create something like this, and it's a hefty beast. I mean, it's 75 centimeters long, 11 wide and 18 tall. It's just fantastic. I've got no complaints about this whatsoever. And while there are a lot of Bismarcks out there, and I dare say that in the future I'll be doing another one from somebody, so it'll be very interesting to compare the two, in design approach, build approach, all that type of stuff, because there's a lot of the ships, particularly out there, are expensive. The Kobe stuff sort of starts at about 150 quid, which I think is what HMS Belfast is at the moment, and that's a heavy cruiser. The Tirpitz, the Bismarck, are around the £199 mark. So to get this for £30, it's difficult to see where you go wrong with it. So overall, I'm sure this will be a shock. Hugely recommended. Any interest in ships at all? Any interest in... Alright, if you're watching this video, you've got interest in brick builds, get it. You treat yourself. you're not going to be upset about it. Nothing bad to say, it's all good. So thank you, Forange. You have first build by them, and yeah, they're right up there now with my possibly my new favourite build. Right, well, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please like and subscribe. We've got plenty more builds on the way, and I'll see you again. You take care. Bye bye.